Not thinking about fishing is a crazy topic because it's literally all I think about. You know, just literally what I think about as soon as I wake up is the next tournament, how I'm going to approach it, you know, what I'm going to do there, how I'm going to separate myself. It literally consumes my life, so.
It's his 4th straight championship Sunday. Fished all 3 days of the Classic, all 4 days of the Pasquotank River, last week at Hartwell as well, all 4 days, and now in 4 days. So,
please leave your message after the tone.
Yes, let's go. Giant.
after starting out 101st and 93rd in Florida.
I mean, digging the biggest hole you could possibly dig, really.
Starting to think he didn't even fish the first 2 tournaments, Tom.
Yeah! I think we can all agree he's going to be around a long time. Those might be
giant. The biggest thing this week is just getting that big bite. You know, that's you know, that makes or break your week.
Come on, baby. No, the timber's down there. No.
I've found a way to get your average bite, so to say, your pound and a quarter, pound and a half, pound and 3/4 bites.
To leave a voice message.
Giant. You know, and then to go with that, you just need a big one. So.
Oh my gosh.
That Bassmaster Classic momentum is paying off. You obviously made Championship Sunday on your way to a win there and have not missed a Championship Sunday since.
We got a shot to win tomorrow, boys.
All right, guys, we're here at stop number 6 of the Bassmaster Elite Series season at the Sabine River. You know, my game plan is just to hopefully catch those solid keepers, you know, all day long, and then, you know, hopefully a big one will show up eventually. So far, it's been a spinnerbait and also a flip and bite. The flip and bite is when I'm gonna go dial it in a little bit better, figure out what exactly kind of cover that they're sitting on and how they're positioned and that sort of thing. So that's the main thing I want to go dial in the rest of today is the flip and bite. And, you know, if I can have that 1-2 punch spinnerbait flipping, you know, I think that can be really good. I mean, the weather coming up looks fairly consistent. You know, we had all kinds of rain while we were at Lake Fork last week. And then, you know, it's just sunny and windy the rest of the week, stays warm. You know, the water conditions may change. The water may start coming back down. I'm not sure on that. I don't know how much water is coming down from Toledo, but yeah, I mean, overall the weather conditions is fairly stable. But yeah, water conditions may change, and if they do, we'll just have to change with it.
You were top 10 last tournament and the tournament before that, correct?
And one before that.
All right, so then what does it mean to you to have that top 10 win this particular tournament?
I mean, fishing's all about momentum. You know, I won the Classic and I had 3 top 10s after that, so definitely on a little bit of a roll right now. Confidence is definitely high, which is what it takes to do well in this sport. So, you know, hopefully we can ride the momentum. All we can do is just go out there and work hard and, you know, just keep the confidence rolling. And yeah, hopefully we can come out with possibly another top 10. That'd be pretty dang awesome, so. All right, guys, we're idling out here for the final day of practice. Sabine River, stop 6 of the Bassmaster Elite Series season. It's a big fishery. You know, you got lots of grass, lots of cypress trees. You got all kinds of different cover, really anything you could ever want. There's lots of riprap. The name of the game this week is, you know, you got to get your limit. There is lots of fish in here, but size is very hard to come by. So you got to get your limit, and then, you know, your 2.5, 3-pounder plus each day is what really separates yourself. We put in at the takeoff ramp here. We're going to look around here for a couple hours this morning. I always like to try to find something near the ramp, something to hit, you know, on the way in when you're coming in for check-in. So we're gonna spend just a couple hours this morning looking around here, hopefully find a little something. And then, you know, as it stands right now, we're gonna go to a different river and fish most of the tournament. So yeah, that's the game plan. At least this morning, just look around here for an hour or two, maybe a couple hours, and then we're gonna bounce that back to the other river and try to dial that in even more. But yeah, you just gotta get your 5 bites a day, and then you gotta get your 1 good bite, 1-2 good bites a day to really separate yourself from the rest of the field. So that's how Sabine River is shaping up this week. Yeah, with the muddy water, typically the rule of thumb is the muddier the water, the tighter structure they hold. So they'll gravitate more and more to these trees as the water gets muddier, which it's pretty muddy right now. There's been lots of heavy rain in this area lately. So you gotta get the spinnerbait as close to them trees as you can, and ideally kind of hit them as you brush by them. That's what it'll trigger them to fire and allow them to find your bait. So, but yeah, that's the muddier the water, the tighter the structure, the bass typically hold. I guess on Google Earth, I'm always looking for something just different, you know. Out here, they just got a whole bunch of rain, a bunch of water coming down from Toledo. So I want to look on Google Earth for the places that, you know, typically have the cleanest water, because in those creeks, you know, there's typically grass that filters out the creek arms and that sort of thing, and that's why they generally hold cleaner water. So, I mean, you can see in here, there's grass all over the place in here. So, typically, you know, when it's kind of flooding like this, those ones that typically hold the cleaner water will be the ones that clean up the best, and you know, the bass want to be in the clean water when it's available. So. So the weather this week has actually been fairly consistent since we got here. You know, there was a bunch of rain while we were at Fork, and then since we got here, it's just been sunny, hot, really windy every day. And it's looking it's going to be that same way throughout the tournament. So, yeah, it's just, the thing about the Sabine is, you know, it's flooded right now, so I'm thinking it's going to come down, the water level is going to change. And that's another reason why I've kind of committed to Taylor, is the lock is closed over there. There's no tide, there's no water fluctuation, nothing like, you don't have to worry about any of that over in Taylor. So that's another reason why I wanted to go over there and check it out, and sure enough, that's where we got the bites. So, but yeah, it's sunny, windy. It might be a little bumpy getting over there, but you know, you gotta do what you gotta do to go get bites. So we're just gonna bounce around here. Just, you know, it might not be that much longer, but I really feel like I need to get back over there and dial it in a little bit better before tomorrow. I found a good spinnerbait bite over there. I really want to dial in a good flipping bite to go with it. If I can have both of those to do, you know, I think I could come up with something pretty good both days. So, but we're just gonna hit a couple more little stretches right here in our takeoff, and then I think we're gonna load up and head back over there. So. I just have a burning desire to be competitive, I guess. You know, that's what drives me. In this fishing game, you can never stay low or high, it seems like. I mean, as bad as you want to stay on the high, it's just impossible to stay on a high 100% of the time. So, I mean, the fans are always going to get to see the lows and the highs, and it's just all about how you handle both of which. You know, I'm already having kids come up to me and be like, yo, like, I met you a couple years ago, super cool, you're able to do it so fast, because, you know, I've been using my platform now to tell kids, like, 5 years ago I was in high school and a year ago I was in college, and now look how fast it can happen. So I've already had kids come up and tell me like, hey, I met you like not so long ago and super cool to see where you're at now. And I just want, I guess, those kids that come up to me is super motivating for me. 2 5/16 ounce striking spinnerbaits, in the morning hours when they're still pretty active. That's when I'm gonna be firing around for at least the first couple hours. And then I'm tying up, 3 or 4 flipping rods for the afternoon, be flipping a lot in the afternoon. And then I might tie up like a wacky rig ocho or some other stuff on a spinning rod. Might have to go finesse on them, but main players is gonna be spinnerbaits and flipping. It's gonna be pretty much the majority of my day, or my weekend, I guess. So, but yeah, I found some areas with some fish. I'm trying to think of ways to separate myself from because I know there's gonna be a bunch of anglers in the area, so I'm just trying to think of some ways I can separate myself from the field. Tournament here at the Sabine River. We're just waiting in line here to launch the boat, and we'll wait to take off. But yeah, it's just running through game plan for the day. It's not going to be easy for me, but it's not going to be easy for anyone in the field. Whoever does well in this tournament, they're gonna earn it for sure. So it's just all about getting a big bite and yeah, just not getting spun out. There's gonna be lots of people in my area, but there's lots of fish there, so we just gotta get in there with them and do our thing. And I think if we do that, we'll get, a decent limit. And if we luck into a big one, we'll have a really good limit. So looking forward to it. Two of them. I got 2 fish, 1 good one, both on spinnerbait. I had 2 of them miss it right after I caught that good one, so I'm gonna buzz through this again and then probably bounce to another somewhere. Never even fished this in practice, just something told me to come in here, so. Decide if the main drag here is the deal or more backwaters. Probably try to get a limit out here and then go try to run some more backwaters for some. Try to get another big bite. Right now I'm just targeting wood. Obviously this bank's loaded with wood. Ideally it's on a channel swing. There's a subtle channel swing here. Usually there's deep water on the channel swing. I want wood with immediate deep water next to it. It's been the most consistent for me, so that's kind of the deal I'm running right now. But yeah, I'm hoping to get 2 more keepers relatively quick doing this, and then we're gonna go hit some more oxbows, try to get another big one. right, guys, we're gonna hit a couple more places in this river, and then we're gonna go to the other river, the one next to this one. Hit a couple stretches where I had some good flipping bites, and then, you know, hopefully we have 5 fish in time to go hit some backwaters and hopefully get another big one. So that's the game plan. We're looking for really 2 more bites because we got a big one, big for this place. So if we can just get 2 keepers, we'll be sitting pretty good. So hopefully it pans out, but stay tuned.
Defending Classic champion from Grand Rapids, Minnesota, Easton Fothergill. 5 fish for Easton here today, has made the last 4 cuts, including the Bassmaster Classic. Would love to keep that streak alive. Day number 1, 5 fish for Easton, 8 pounds, 2 ounces. Inside the top 20 in 18th place currently.
Thank you.
With 8 pounds and 2 ounces for the beastman that is Easton Fothergill. Day 2 in 18th place as we wind down our way, so not bad.
No, a great start. This is my favorite kind of tournament, the ones that really makes you work for it. You know, you got to stay mentally, you know, there all day long and just wait for that. I guess you got to capitalize on the bites that you get, and these are the ones my favorite. So yeah, I'm super excited to get back out there.
They all seem to be your favorite. They're working out pretty good.
Yeah, we drinking today.
Staying hydrated today.
Yesterday was bad. I got a little dehydrated. Yeah. I mean, I got the one yesterday. I didn't even eat it. So, but today we're eating it. We're getting started on the right foot this morning. We're getting 10 pounds today, hopefully, instead of 8 pounds.
You know, I started in an oxbow off the main river channel yesterday morning, and that's where I got a couple big bites. That's where I caught the almost 3-pounder and had an opportunity on another one. So I looked on Google Earth last night and we found another one nearby that kind of sets up the same way, so we're gonna start in there. Never been in there. Hopefully it's got deep water. If it does, I think, you know, it might be pretty good, just like the one I started in yesterday. So we also had that big one bite twice in the one yesterday, so we'll be checking that one too. But I really think that's the best way to get a big bite right away in the morning, is starting in an oxbow. I feel like that's where the bigger fish are kind of hanging out for the most part right now. So we're gonna do that, and then from then on I kind of figured out late in the day yesterday a deal I can run to, you know, get a good bit of bites. Hopefully that'll hold if we can run that from, you know, the 9:30 time period on. I think we could have a pretty good day by the end of the day. So it's not gonna be easy, that's for sure. Caught 8 keepers yesterday, I think, 8 or 9. And today I'm expecting to be a lot tougher. A lot of fish got pulled out of that area yesterday with most of the field being in there. So what we can do is go out there and work hard and see if we get 5 keeper bites and hopefully a good one mixed in.
It's been, you know, I spent the morning again in oxbows, trying to get another big one. We got one nice one. I mean, not big, but a good keeper. But yeah, now we're gonna run some main stuff, try to get some keepers. Flipping a rage bug, black and blue, 5/16 ounce weight. Plan for the rest of the day is to run as much stuff that looks like that as we can. That's just the most high percentage stuff that I found. So if we hit enough of that before the day's over, we should get 5. My average so far is pretty good. I got 5 pounds for 3, so if I can get 2 more high 1s, low 2s, you know, I got a good bag. So that's the game plan and the goal for the rest of the day. I'm about to go to the other river. There's a lot more of this over there, so I'm gonna go make it happen.
Ladies and gentlemen, he is your reigning defending classic champion, Easton Fothergill. 8 pounds, 2 ounces. Yes, a 5 fish to add to that here today for the 22-year-old Bassmaster Classic champion. He's 7 pounds even to take the lead. 8 pounds and an ounce with 16.3. The beast that is Easton Fothergill. Inside the cut again, he's made 4 championship Sundays in a row. 16.3, and Easton, another great week for you here this week.
Yeah, I'm having fun. It's not easy out there. I've caught 8 keepers both days now, so I mean, it's been slow each morning, and it kind of picks up around 10, 11 o'clock. So it's, yeah, having fun.
You're surviving. Love to see it. See you on semifinal Saturday. Hopefully another championship Sunday.
Man, it feels good to make another, 50 cut. I mean, they're getting paid today. Super good week so far. But yeah, now our eyes are set on the top 10. I think we need 9 pounds or so today to make that happen. It feels like every day we get a little bit more dialed in on what exactly the fish are doing. So hopefully today we can get a couple more clues, dial it in decently early, and then we can kind of run with it the rest of the day. And hopefully, all we need is like a 2.5 pounder to go with it, our average fish, and that'll get us to about 9 pounds. So, it's definitely extremely doable. Just gotta go out there and work hard, and hopefully the bites will come. Morning's been tough so far. I think they're biting. I just gotta get myself in front of one. But just gonna continue to cover water like we have been, and we'll run into them eventually. So I'm gonna hit where I had 2 bites yesterday, and then we're going to the other river. Yeah, the rest of the day I'm gonna bounce around, cover a bunch more water. That 2 pounder on the swim jig gives me a lot of confidence. If I can get another bite on this, it'll probably be another good one. So mix it up between this and my jig and my flipping. I got a bunch of places up the river here we're gonna go hit, so feeling good for sure. If I can get another 2 pounder, and then I got 2 tiny ones. If we can get rid of them, we should make tomorrow. So a couple bites away from a really good event, but regardless, I'm happy with the week for sure. So hopefully we can make it happen, and see you this afternoon.
Sundays in a row. He's got 5 fish today, looking for 713 to take the lead. 7 pounds, 11 ounces. He moves into second place.
Thank you.
Two
have a big one
ounces
on the way?
overall lead with 23 pounds and 14 ounces. 23-14, sitting in second place, and gonna have to hold on and see if you can slide into your 5th championship Sunday in a row. It is awesome what you've done. You've turned around your season, took that momentum from the Classic, and man, you are putting on a clinic.
Yeah, today was awesome. I think I caught 4 out of 5 of my fish on different baits today. I mean, just junk fishing 101, just going down the bank. If there's a laydown, I'll pitch a jig. You know, if there's some overhanging grass, I'll throw a spinner bait. It's a lot of fun out there, and yeah, I hope I get to go tomorrow. I'm thinking like 12th place. Had a line burner day. I think it's really gonna hurt me. So, but all in all, if I don't make it, a great week, awesome crowd, and I hope we come back soon.
You're an awesome angler. We love having you part of this field.
I mean, yeah, getting through a grinder like this is definitely a confidence boost. Actually, these are my favorite style of tournaments. I'd much rather have it where it's hard to get a bite rather than, you know, a smash fest. For whatever reason, I strive in these environments, the ones where it's, you know, it's a mental game more than anything. You know, I feel like I've kind of honed in on what the mentality is that you need to do well in these events. But yeah, I mean, 10 Killer may be the same way. I really don't know much about that place. You know, I'm gonna do some research here in the next coming weeks, but yeah, it could very well turn out the same way. So it could definitely, you know, play in our favor if that one turns out to be the same, you know, kind of grinder mentality. We'll see. You know, today I think I executed pretty perfectly, but the first 2 days, I think there was times where I didn't move fast enough. You know, today there's times where I'd pull up on a piece of structure and I'd make, you know, 2 flips and I'd pull a troller and leave. I think I should have operated a little bit more like that, you know, more efficiently. But at first I didn't realize that, you know, they are biting. You just got to get your bait in front of them. You know, I really thought you have to pick everything apart, like dissect it. And it took a little bit too long for me to realize that, hey, you can just make a flip on each side of the structure and keep moving rather than completely dissecting it. So if I'd realized that earlier, it would have made me a little bit more efficient and I could have covered more water and probably would have got more bites. But, you know, it's easy to look in hindsight. So, but yeah, made great decisions and overall super happy with my week. You know, being where I'm from, I'm especially excited for the northern swing. You know, the St. Clair and La Crosse. La Crosse is a place I grew up pretty nearby. It's one of my favorite fisheries in the world. It's just so diverse. But yeah, I mean, honestly, 10 Killer, you know, it could very well be in my wheelhouse too. I think it's decently clear water. So yeah, really the last 3 kind of set up really well for me. So I'm really excited to get to the final events and see what we can do. You just gotta trust the process. And you know, for me, I was just pounding my brain, like if I put my bait in front of enough pieces of structure, you know, I'll get the bites I need. So that's what I was kind of running through my head all week, is just, you know, put my bait in front of as many fish as I possibly can, and, you know, whatever bites. And that's kind of my mentality for wherever we go. So that's kind of the way I roll, and yeah, it worked out this week, and looking forward to the next one at 10 Killer.